Well, happy Sunday. The morning after the White House Correspondents' Dinner with Anita and Karen from True Blue Politics podcast. Hey, Anita. Good
Hey
morning.
Karen, good morning.
Did you
How are
sleep
you?
last night?
No, I did not sleep last night because I was up all night worrying about a ballroom, getting
Oh,
a ballroom
oh, well,
because we need a ballroom.
mm-hmm.
That's
Not
what keeps me up at night.
not common sense gun laws?
No, not common sense gun laws, not fake assassination attempts.
No,
No, you know,
not the most security provided to any human being
on the planet.
on the planet.
Mm-mm. No, that doesn't keep me up at night. What keeps me up at night is ballroom
Ballroom. Me too. The lack of ballrooms.
and gold.
That's what, well, you know what? Look, I mean, all of us libtards are always, calling for common sense gun laws and everything when
Mm. Why not just build more
clearly all we
ballrooms?
need is everybody needs to be equipped with a ballroom.
Well, you know what? Forget about schools. We should just build more ballrooms.
Yeah, or build ballrooms onto the schools.
Well, why even bother with the schools? Just have the ballrooms.
Oh, well, we could do that. So, if you're wondering what we're referring to, my Saturday night was interrupted by a phone call from my co-host Anita
I
from San
know.
Antonio
Breathlessly
asking if
reporting.
breathlessly reporting that there were shots fired at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Can I
The
just say
first one
something?
that Donald Trump has attended
Hmm.
as in his capacity as President of the United States and supplanting the comedians that normally are there with a
Mentalists.
mentalist who apparently couldn't see this coming.
That's true. I didn't even think about that.
Well,
I didn't even think about that. And then why did he warn everybody? Do you
right.
know
Why didn't
what?
he
You know
warn
what?
him?
You know what? The first thing I thought when I
Hmm.
heard about this was, everything Donald touches is a shit show, turns into a
Yes.
shit show. The White
Hmm.
House Correspondents' Dinner has been going on as long as I can remember. I
Hmm.
know Reagan had it, and he was probably the first president to attend.
Hmm.
And you know what? Nobody ever got shot at. There were no never any
Nobody?
gunfire.
Huh.
No. And there were comedians that, the president took some kind of poking. They poked fun at him and they just laughed good naturedly because that's what you do as an
Mhm.
adult.
Yes.
But no, I've never heard of a mentalist having to have a mentalist. That's never happened before either.
No.
So I mean, I'm
So,
just saying everything is surrounding him, everything he just there's just chaos. There's just always this sense that the stuff that we grew up watching, or the things that we care about, like the Super Bowl. The
mhm.
Super Bowl, he made it into this stupid thing where it was
All about him.
all about him. Yeah,
Right.
everything becomes just a shit show.
Yes. So, getting back to last night's events, he shows up there, and apparently there are some this man was able to get past, there was layers of security reported,
Mm-hmm.
right? Was able to get through a layer or two of security. And there were apparent shots in, not in the ballroom. Okay, there was a lot of, kind of confusion and mixed reporting about that. We know now that it was not
Mm-hmm.
in the ballroom, it was supposedly outside
We
the
don't know
ballroom.
where the shots were coming from. I mean, they could have been coming because he was. It sounded like three or four shots, but some people were saying it was that this was a Secret Service that was shooting. I mean,
Right.
none of these questions. And the funny thing is, it's at a White House Correspondents' Dinner. Those are all reporters.
Those are all reporters,
We
and
can't get a
we
straight
can't get a
story.
straight story. And so, and then Wolf Blitzer was there and he was reporting.
That this was the highest security he'd ever seen, and he's been going to them for 30 years.
Yep. And
I mean,
so there were, people in security and tactical gear
oh
that
my God.
rushed in, Secret Service when, and just the whole thing, watching the videos and, there's tons of people posting multiple angles and showing
Hmm.
everything.
Where Donald
And
Trump falls, by the way, he falls on his face
right.
when the Secret Service. Yeah.
Tabitha, and we don't necessarily even need to play it, honestly, Anita. I don't know. But
Oh,
Tabitha was reporting about it. Tabitha Speaks on her YouTube channel. And, she said she's watching the same thing we're watching, the same thing that our mainstream media, our legacy media are watching. And she said,
our
the
mainstream
even
media was there.
the
They were
reaction on
there.
the dais was like out of sequence with people,
Mhm.
Melania Trump sitting next to him. JD she points out JD Vance was rushed out before Trump.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. JD Vance
Yeah.
got out of there. I think it's because Donald Trump fell on his face. So
Yeah.
they got JD Vance out faster
Yeah.
because he didn't fall on his face.
Well, and again, we don't know, like,
It's hard to run when you've got a loaded diaper, okay?
that's true. That is true. That's true. And cankles.
That's right. Can't go. And he
Yeah.
just, I mean,
Yeah.
they, I, from what I understand, the Secret Service seemed a little startled that this man could not get up. And then
Yeah.
when he
They were
got
like,
up,
dude,
he
you're supposed to
fell.
pop up and with the fist bump.
That's
You're
right. What
supposed to
happened?
pump your
Fight, fight,
fist, fight,
fight.
fight, fight. Come on.
Yeah. Where's all
Yeah.
that? Oh, wait.
We've
You know
got the
what?
we've got the flags here. I mean,
Everybody, all the reporters are here to
all the
take the
reporters
picture.
are here to take pictures of you fist
Hmm.
bumping, fist pumping.
And
Um,
the reason why we're doing this special report from True Blue
beep
Politics
beep beep beep
is
beep beep beep
because
beep 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 beep. Mhm.
Legacy media is failing you again.
Yes.
Legacy media, because they're breathlessly reporting it because they were there and they want to make it. It's about them now, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
they're there
Mm-hmm.
and they're not going to ask questions. They're just going to report. Oh my God, we had to be
They were
rushed out
there.
of there. I
Let
was so
us tell you.
scared.
Yeah, let us tell you all
How
about what
scared I
we
was.
experienced and we were shaking. And thank you for to my colleagues for
Yes, and the Secret
talking me
Service and
down and
yeah.
calming me. And, it
Hmm.
was a scary moment. I can't even. And so I turned on MS Now. I told you about this, Anita,
Hmm.
and this is why we kind of, like you said, prompted this. But,
Yeah.
there was, the weekend reporting it, and then Ali Velshi comes on, and I respect, I respect Ali Velshi. I think both of us
Yeah,
respect
I
him.
like his coverage of Ukraine.
I do, well, I appreciate a lot of his. I
Yeah,
mean, he gets it, for the
most
most
of the
part,
time.
right.
Yeah.
But he had, people that were there on, and they're all kind of talking about this. It's like, you guys, we are watching the same thing you guys are watching, okay? And when you guys report this is legitimate, we look at you as not serious and not
Well,
really, I mean, we're not buying it. We're not
part
buying
of
it.
it,
The fact that
at,
you guys are being
no,
used as props, you guys have been used as props. You have egg on your face.
but part
This
of the
is,
problem is, okay, like Paul Krugman talks about this. The reason why Paul Krugman left the New York Times, okay, the New York Times, he had a column in the New York Times for many, many years. He left because of the editorial control over his writing. He could
mhm,
not tell the truth.
yeah.
And so that's what's happening. There's all these people that they can't come out and say, hey, this looks
There's
strange.
some
Yeah, there's
questions.
some questions I have here. So that's why you need independent media because it's
Yes.
not just about the people. Maybe you like Ali Velchi, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And but he only can say so much.
Right. Yeah.
So
And I mean, and it is a real shame because, yeah, you see like, Joy Reid,
mhm.
was fired
Don
because
Lemon,
she, Don Lemon, all of these, people that are really killing it in, the independent media um
yep,
circles. And, finally they're untethered. Jim Acosta,
that's right. They're
you
out
see
there
them
telling the
coming
truth.
out and it's just like, but here you have MS Now. Okay, you guys
Hmm.
went to this thing. You guys went to this thing.
Hmm.
Then you were used as
As
props.
props. Yep.
Do you not see why we are not buying what you're selling anymore?
I think they're fully aware of that. I think it's a dying media. Um, people aren't watching them. They're turning to independent media because of the people, because they're too cautious. They're too afraid.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, some of them to the point of where they're just completely, bent over for,
Mm-hmm.
like CBS.
Yeah. So what were you talking about with Midas Touch? You said that Midas Touch was even reporting
Midas
that.
Central's talking about it, and they have some questions. Okay. And they brought up Butler.
Mm-hmm.
because there's certainly some questions there, and there's a lot of people that are very skeptical about this because of Butler, really, and
Mm-hmm.
because Donald Trump is a pathological liar, and he would do something like this because
Mm-hmm.
he wants this stupid fucking ballroom. First of all,
Yeah.
second of all, because
Let's
his
watch
poll
the
numbers.
language though, because we're gonna post this on YouTube. I don't know
Oh,
what their
YouTube. Oh,
rules
they
are.
don't. Yeah, no,
Yeah. Okay. I just
YouTube.
want to make sure.
I watch YouTube all the time.
Okay.
But also because his poll numbers are sinking, he's losing MAGA. I mean, what did he have? Like a 60 something percent among Republicans now. Among
Mm-hmm.
non-MAGA Republicans, it's like 40 something percent. This is
Mm-hmm.
shocking, really.
Yeah. Yep.
And he's losing them. And it's all the Iran war is going badly,
Yep.
terribly. We're losing. He's getting embarrassed, humiliated.
Mm-hmm.
So why wouldn't he? I mean, of course, this is straight out of the Putin playbook,
Yeah.
right? And this is who he's kind of modeled himself after, right?
Yeah.
Remember, Putin tried to get Orban to do a fake assassination attempt,
That's
because
right.
to help him win the election. Of course, that didn't happen because it came out. That's
Mm-hmm.
why we need to talk about this,
Yes.
because this is the kind of stuff they're going to be trying to do to try to,
Mm-hmm.
especially as we approach the midterms.
And Heather Cox Richardson, right? She
And
talks about
Timothy
this, and
Snyder,
Timothy Snyder, they all talk about this.
we have to be very, very skeptical about things like this. And
Mm-hmm.
also, what Timothy Snyder says, even if they're real, the way he reacts is not,
Mm-hmm.
we cannot expect him to act like, oh, he's going to act like a normal, normal person would.
Mm-mm.
And, for the bet, for, thinking about the country. No,
Mm-hmm.
he won't care. He's going to
No.
think, oh, how is this politically advantageous for me?
Right. And so now we go back. Okay, so let's go back to Butler, right? And how that all played out. With the reaction, the initial reaction, Secret Service letting him pop up, do the fist
The
pump
flag
with the flag. Then the
and
next thing you know,
perfect
in
position.
perfect position, very much with the composition. And I pointed this out. I saw this like immediately. It
Karen, I
reminded
can,
me of the Battle
yeah.
of Iwo Jima, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so and so I'm like, yeah. So and then the fight, and
Five,
then
five.
the next thing you know, he's selling merch.
And no medical report. They've never
And
released an
the
official medical report from the
no
attending
official,
physician
yep.
or from the hospital.
We never heard anything
Mm-mm.
about the
Just the
forensics. And
bandage.
this is, yeah, and this is the thing. The mainstream media, it was gone. We never heard another
Mm-mm.
word about it. They
Nope, they
never
just dropped
reported,
it.
they never asked questions.
Mm-mm. They just dropped it. They
They
didn't.
ju
They didn't demand the
completely
medical
dropped it.
report.
Right.
Remember when there was. I mean, when Ronald Reagan was shot, when Gerald Ford, when there was an attempted assassination on him, they talked about it. They talked. The woman, I remember her name was Squeaky Frome.
Yep. Yep. Yes. And what was the shooter's name that, was taken out
Well, I
supposedly,
remember, but I'll guarantee you, most people don't.
Mm-hmm. I can't tell you his name.
Crooks.
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 Okay. See,
Yeah, and
I can't
Donald
even
Trump
tell you
doesn't
his
talk
name.
about it.
Nope.
And who really believes that Donald Trump wouldn't be talking about this all the goddamn time and
Right.
whining about it? No, he talks about other things like his ballroom or how
Right.
he really
And
won the
then
2020 election.
and then the thing when, people would clap back because I had questions and they would, people would clap back at me and say, somebody died. People died. And
Well,
I'm like, I don't believe that you are sitting there thinking that Donald Trump gives a rat's
like,
ass or any of
mm-mm.
these right-wing
No, because Putin, okay,
shit about. He doesn't care.
Putin had the Russian military or
God,
special forces
how stupid are we?
attack other Russians and kill them and blame it on a terrorist attack, set it up to look like a terrorist attack
Yeah.
from Chechens.
Yep.
And they
Yep.
died. The people actually died, Russian
And then there's
citizens.
reports that Viktor Orban they were planning the same thing and
Yeah,
attempted assassination on,
that's right. I
right,
know, Orban. So,
right,
yeah. I mean,
to garner support. Now, what have we seen in the last couple of weeks? People are ba backing away from him because of Iran. He's got a 33% approval
Epstein,
rating.
Epstein,
Epstein
and Butler. People are
and
very skeptical about
Butler.
Butler now.
Now people are asking questions about Butler, which again, the mainstream media at the time completely dropped the
Dropped it.
ball.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now here we are here. So tell me, Anita, how are we supposed to react to this situation
Well,
when we are watching the same footage, the same angles? We know what's been done already. We know
we
how the
know what they're
media,
capable of
we know what they're capable of. How is it that our mainstream media,
because they are programmed to treat him like a normal president who would not do this.
right?
They're not thinking like in Europe. They're like what Orban was trying to do. Those people already are skeptical. They've seen this
Hmm.
before.
Yep.
This isn't their first rodeo.
Yeah.
And so we don't expect this from our leaders. This is
Right.
just beyond the pale. We can't even imagine.
Hmm.
And they lack the imagination to actually understand the depravity of Donald Trump.
Hmm. So I do want to play this. This was something that you sent me. This was on Fox News right after,
Yeah,
and they
this
were
is very
speaking to
interesting.
somebody.
She was
So,
live, she was there, and so
hmm
she's reporting on the phone to the Fox News host.
okay. So give me a moment. I'm going to pull this up. This is Micah Irfan tweeted this out. Okay.
So I was sitting next to Caroline Levitt, the press secretary's husband. He was one of our guests. He was seated right next to me, and right as the dinner was starting, the national anthem happened, and then he kind of leaned over and said, I watched you on TV. You did a great job. You need to be very safe. And he was just very serious when he said that to me. And he kind of looked around the room and he said, there are some.
Hmm.
Where'd she
It's
go?
interesting that they dropped her right there.
Where did she go?
No,
Now they said, oh, that
yeah,
happens a lot of times when there's, a
and
lot of traffic. Hmm.
she came out and said that, and she also said, because I'm sure somebody told you to say this,
Yeah.
that what she was saying was that he told her that you need to be safe because it's a dangerous world. Now that doesn't
Hmm.
even make sense unless she's a war correspondent, which she's not.
Hmm.
She's a White House. She's a Capitol Hill reporter. Okay,
Hmm.
I mean,
Yep.
seriously, it just didn't even make sense. So
No. And
take that.
then here, I'm going to play this too. This is Susie Rizzio on Twitter.
Okay.
Staged this. He fucking staged this to get his goddamn ballroom, and he's not even hiding it. Just watch.
I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it.
And honestly, this makes what Caroline Levitt was saying before the event even more fucking damning. She fucking knew.
Is ready to rumble. I will tell you, this speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room.
And look, if you're still questioning this man just went to like a back room after shots were fired. He left Melania under a table. He left Caroline Levitt, who's like 9 months pregnant, under a table, and he was just like rushed off there, not off the grounds, like as though they knew everything else was secure. Then he comes out and he's like, the show's got to go on. We're going to continue the festivities. But first, a brief intermission while I give this bullshit speech where I let you all know, see, this is why we need the ballroom. Because something like this wouldn't happen in my ballroom. Bullshit. This was all fucking staged.
He makes it so he's so bad at this. You'd think he'd be a little bit clever and like, oh, later on, like, you know what, maybe we should, you should take that into consideration what happened, when you're deciding whether or not I should get to continue building my ballroom. But no, he comes right on to see, I need my ballroom. I mean, immediately, this just happened.
Yeah.
And he's out there talking about how they should drop the lawsuit stopping him from building his ballroom.
Mm-hmm.
Because look.
Yep.
I mean, it's just, and people, you know what? Honestly, people are not buying this anyway. People are suffering.
No, before I even knew it, what did I say? Before like when you called me up, what did I say right away?
You said this bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, nope, bullshit. No,
Nope.
I don't believe it. And I was like, well, I'm gonna wait and see what the whole story is. She's like, nope, this is bullshit. It's too convenient.
Yep. Not having it.
Karen's just a little more cynical than I am.
I just, and look, Anita, like we talk about this all the time. I am not a conspiracy theorist.
No, you're not.
You're not a
No.
conspiracy
No, I'm not.
theorist. But literally, this is the time that we're living in. And it's like,
But this is the time we have to be a little bit more.
Exactly.
Because some conspiracies are true, okay? Just because it's a conspiracy doesn't mean it's bullshit.
Well, sure. Like, the Mueller report.
It was a conspiracy.
Yeah. It just.
And it was conspired to stop us from hearing about it.
That's it.
With Bill Barr up there.
That's right.
That's a conspiracy.
That is a conspiracy. They conspired to pressure Ukraine. Zelensky, right?
That's right. They got Bill Barr in there to make us think that. And remember, if you remember correctly,
he's an institutionalist.
Yeah, he's an institutionalist who spent the evening with Donald Trump the night before.
Yes,
right. Even though, what's her name, Loretta Lynch? Mm-hmm. Remember, she met on the tarmac with Bill Clinton for 20 minutes talking about their grandchildren, and that was, oh my God. Mm-hmm. Obstruction of justice. But this guy was over there with Bill Barr in the White House the night before he released the report, which is so weird. Mm-hmm. And he goes out there and tells a completely false, not narrative, right? Mm-hmm. And the media, of course, falls all over themselves believing it because he's an institutionalist.
He's an institutionalist, Anita. I don't know if you know that, but Anita, isn't it curious too that two Trump AGs are very good friends or had close associations with Jeffrey Epstein? Did you know that?
Yes, I did know that, but you know what else is weird? Almost everybody that surrounds Donald Trump has had close associations, including his wife. I mean, there are so many connections in that White House.
Oh, she barely knew Ghislaine.
Oh no, she didn't. She didn't know him. She only knew them. But so you know how it is in Palm Beach in New York. You just bump into people like Jeffrey Epstein.
So wait, was Melania Sweet Pea? Who was Sweet Pea? Oh
Melania was Sweet Pea, and
Lady G.
She was G.
She was just G. Oh, because Lady G is Lindsay.
Lady G, that's
I'm getting it confused. I'm sorry.
Lindsey Graham. Don't get them confused. But they're kind of
my apologies.
Kind of the same.
It kind of is.
But anyway, the point. But with her, that's a whole other subject. But
that's
all coming out. Mm-hmm. That's all coming out because of that Amanda. I forget her last name. Or I can't.
Anita, can you hold on 1 second? This is my contractor. Hold on. Oh,
are they going to be in the?
Yeah, no, I just have to let them know that we need a ballroom.
Your contractor. Oh, yes, you got to get that ballroom built.
Okay,
because, that's the only way you can be safe.
I have to fortify my home with a ballroom, so I'm safe.
I know. I think that we should get rid of all our schools and all of our malls and just build ballrooms.
Ballroom.
I mean, the only way we can be safe, Karen.
So this happens on cue. Then, of course, Iran releases another Lego video.
Oh, yes. And they're just on top of everything. This is what's funny.
They are, and it's kind of scary that we're getting that information.
White House dinner just went down. Had to control everything. LMAO. But did you? Drama still hit anyway. No comedians. Snowflake, ego so fragile, can't handle the smoke. Hire the mentalist so you don't get roasted, bro. Control the whole show. You the only one to blame. No comedians. Super fragile snowflake, country going broke. MAGA waking up, they see the joke. You control the video, but you don't control Iran. Yeah. Before the meal, no food, no crumbs on the plate. Prices too high, empty plates, political pie in the sky. Shots fired, whole place got swatted out. SWAT team rushed in, Chicken Little freaking out. Ballroom is the stage, exit is the cue. Trick up your sleeve, didn't get the survivors to leave. Dapper change, cover up, staging the whole scene. Every time your polls drop low, you pull the same scheme. No comedians. Snowflake, ego so fragile, can't handle the smoke. Hire the mentalist so you don't get roasted, bro. Control the whole show. You the only one to blame. Yeah. You talk big tough guy, but we laughing out loud. Had to stage the whole thing so it don't expose the fraud. Shots fired in the room, cleared fast. No food arrived, just drama unsurpassed. Trump post, let the show go on like a hero, but no one was even phased in there. Zero. Shooter apprehended, even different than planned. Now you say we'll just do it all again. Damn, yeah. Super fragile snowflake, can't handle the smoke. Shots fired, whole place evacuated. Let the show go on. You the only one to blame. No comedians. Snowflake, ego so fragile, can't handle the smoke. Maga waking up, country going broke. You control the dinner, but you lost the same. No comedians, no comedians. Fake tough guy show, now the whole world laughs. Sacred defense, we see the game. You control the narrative, but you still a loser. Sacred defense. No comedians, super fragile, shots fired. Country going broke, yeah, we see you. Sacred defense.
Ooh,
It's pretty
that's
good.
another banger, another banger.
I know. That is a banger.
As the kids say.
The kids do say that.
Mm-hmm.
They do say that. But it is a banger.
It's a banger.
And it's just they put them out like right away. It's just kind of amazing. But they're calling them out. So everybody
calling it out. Our
be
media
skeptical.
is falling for it again, and being used. They're useful idiots.
Well, we have to demand it. Turn off legacy media.
Mhm.
Seriously.
Yep.
I don't even like you were watching Ali Fauci. Fuck him.
I thought, you know what? And I was like, I was waiting. And look, I'm just going to say this. Just is like, it was maybe 5 minutes of it, and I had to turn it off. So I don't know what came
he said
after.
later.
What
But
he
let me
said
just say
later.
this.
But I'm
I'll
just
tell
going
you
to
what.
say that,
I'll tell you what. If Ali
Should we-
Fauci gets fired, if he got fired tomorrow, he could get a YouTube channel,
he could.
and he probably would sound a lot differently.
Now I want to know. I'm going to be interested to see how Lawrence talks about it.
Yeah, Lawrence, he does
Because
have
Lawrence actually has
because
got
he's at 9:00, so he's got a little bit more leeway.
tomorrow at 9:00.
Also, Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what Rachel has to say about it. Let's see if she's skeptical.
But here's the thing. What I'm finding, it's like Rachel, we all love Rachel, right? But, Lawrence O'Donnell, for me, has actually been calling the bullshit out.
Yeah, he calls it out.
He really does. I mean, I watch him, and he's not having any of it. Like, I'm like, we're all getting gaslit. We're all like, are we going crazy? And I'll tell you, Lawrence isn't falling for it either.
He says, "You're not crazy.
You're not crazy. This is, I mean, this is, yeah." So he's actually talking about it the way we are. That's what I do. I really appreciate it.
If I didn't fall asleep so early, I would watch him.
Yeah, I know.
But I watch sometimes I watch his monologue.
You've got your sleep schedule, so you have to go to bed. Like a lot of people, you have to go to bed after Rachel, and then you wake up at 3:00 in the morning.
It's right.
And doom scroll.
Start all over again.
Right.
No, start with my doom scrolling. That's right. Because otherwise, what am I going to have to tell Karen?
That's it. Yeah, my 6:30 call. It's gotta, you've got to have your stuff ready.
Gotta have some doom
material ready. Good morning. Did you hear about this?
It's true. Okay.
It's true, but that's okay. I get my news from you first thing.
Karen's like, yes, I know. This is a great way to start your day, isn't it?
I'm like, I just did yoga.
I'm just gonna go get coffee.
I just want to go get coffee.
Okay.
Just do my yoga. Go get coffee. No, but it is. I mean, we're living in scary times. Okay,
we
sure are.
That's the thing. I mean, normally, during the Biden administration, I'm not a doom scroller actually, but there's just so much doom right now.
There's so much doom right now
that it's hard not to be. I started watching real quick. I just started watching something on Hulu because I'm like, I have to get my mind away from it sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, we have to. Absolutely. So we'll see what happens in this space and see, if it takes over a year for the mainstream media to start actually talking about, the
I don't think they will.
Shit. I don't
think they will.
Because it took, literally, and the reason I say over a year, because that's how long it took for this to start coming out about Butler being staged.
They brought it up on CNN. Now, somebody went berserk when they did.
Of course.
But they did bring it up. And the thing about it is people need to I'm telling you, people just need to stop watching Legacy after we talked about Lawrence and Rachel and all that. But
no, I mean, but again, I mean,
there can be some exceptions.
Yeah.
The evening, but honestly, you can't really, I mean, just normally, like going through on MS, it's MS Now.
MS Now look, why were you even there? That's my question. Why were you there?
Who was there? Ali Velci was there?
I don't know if Allie, no, I don't think Allie was there, but there was, oh gosh, I'll have to look it up. I'm not going to say, I can't
Why
name
was
names.
anybody there?
Why
I
was
mean, this
anybody? But
man
that's the thing.
bashes the media
Yep.
constantly.
Yep.
And so, I mean, to a point, the enemy of the people. I mean, he threatens their livelihoods.
Yep.
He even threatens to. He even accuses them of committing treason. Okay.
Right.
Now, the New York Times never goes. Rachel Maddow never goes. Rachel Maddow, even during the Obama administration, she wouldn't go. She would play bartender for the after parties.
Yeah.
So some of these people understand that there has to be a separation between the media and the people they cover.
Yes.
You know,
absolutely. Oh, yeah. Anyway, well, listen, thanks for anybody tuning
listening.
in, and yeah, we'll
keep
wait
you
and see what
updated.
happens. Yep.
We'll wait to see what happens. All right. Bye. Bye, Karen.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you later.